I'll call the meeting to order. I'd like to make the following statement. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Treaty 1 territory, traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. I'll introduce the panel members. I'm Marcel Larondo. I'll be chairing. Gisela Rempel to my left and Richard Whitebread to the far left. The assessor today will be Nancy Lockton, and the secretary today will be Carrie Belchaw. We will be hearing applications of revision of assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit the discussions to those matters. The statements that the applicants or the assessor make at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matter must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by Council and is independent of it and the City Administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed out to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the Board's decision with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or the Court of Queen's Bench if the matter pertains to an application of exemption from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the board order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the matters to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony followed by questions that the other applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today, and the session will close after the applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive an order by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. We are going to go ahead.
Okay, you'll swear in?
Yes.
Please state your name.
Nancy Faith.
Do you swear the evidence you'll present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
323 Woodlawn. I don't have your name, so.
My name is Lisa. Good morning. Will you swear in or affirm today?
Yes,
Yes. Please state your name.
Margarita de Marque.
Do you swear the evidence you'll present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Do you have anything to distribute to the panel this morning? I need 5 identical copies,
Nancy, when you are ready.
Okay, thank you. Parcel ID 07051734000 323 Woodlawn Street. It's in the Deer Lodge neighborhood. For this property, I did a desktop review by reviewing data on file, aerial pictures, any permits if available, along with any available MLS listing. So it is a 1.5 story built in 1948. It's 1,423 square feet, has finished basement, 1.5 bathrooms, no air conditioning, and a single detached garage. The assessed lot size is 4,802 square feet. The property was purchased in July 2015 for $260,000, and it sold post-reference September 2018 for $229,900. The 2020 assessment roll value is at $270,000 or $189.74 a square foot. My 4 comparables on the comparable sheet, they're all in Deer Lodge. They're all 1.5 stories, built between 1947 and 1951. The living area is between 1,356 square feet to 1,478 square feet. They all have finished basement. Bathroom ranges from 1.5 to 2.5. 3 of them have air conditioning. The first comparable has a multiple detached garage, while the remaining have a single detached garage. The assessed lot size for them ranges from 4,792 square feet to 5,596 square feet. The time adjusted sale price ranges from 279,700 to 308,900, or $202 a square foot to $224 a square foot. I did attach to my comparable sheet pictures of the subject property as the conditions. So by reviewing the pictures of the subject along with reviewing the before comparables from MLS, in my opinion, that these comparables support the $270,000 for the market value for the reference date of April 1st, 2018. Thank you.
Do you have any questions of the assessor before you make the presentation?
Has she visited the house in person?
I only did an exterior inspection in a drive-by. Other than that, I used the MLS pictures and all the data that we have on file for the property.
We'll move on to your presentation.
So, first of all, I gave you 3 properties that sold approximately at the same time during the time that you gave me, April. I used 3 months before April 2018 and 3 months after, so these properties sold in June and July that year. Mine is one of them, and then you have 2 more. They all sold around the same price, $230,000. They all had the assessed value beyond that, and I sold one of them myself. Normally, as a realtor, I go inside the properties. Sometimes the property is, the value of the property, I mean, the price is the price the market is willing to pay for, right? Why people wouldn't pay for this property in Woodlawn, the asking price that they had, that it started, I believe, over, let's see, $284,900. And after 2 months, the house is still there. Why didn't sell? Because the market say that's not the value. It doesn't matter what the assessment value is by the city. Nobody's paying because it's not the value, right? So inside the property, you can see reasons why. This property has some defects that cannot be repaired. For example, like if you look at the three properties that I gave you, if you look at the assessment, and I'm sorry I put the small prints, it's just the assessment of the city, and I'm trying to reduce my footprint, so it's visible. If you put them side by side, they're pretty much the same. One is a little bit smaller than the other ones. But when you go inside is when you can see the difference. The property in Woodlawn has around 2 inches slope to the southwest corner. Everybody, I showed that house personally to several clients. Everybody ran away from the property. Nobody would pay that price, right? The day that he reduced the price, I put my offer, I got in, there you go, right? So the property will never reach comparable properties like the one that you mentioned. The other thing that you could notice entering the property is the basement in that property was not used, right? It was finished, it has the walls there, so it was finished, but it was not used. If you look at the other properties that you used, they had recreation rooms, they were well renovated, so they were in pretty better condition. And I look at every property that sold, including the one that you showed, that you used. I look at all of them online, and I look at the basement especially. They all, if you look at the MLS listing in the bottom, the very bottom, not in the printed that I gave you, but in a full MLS listing, you will see what is in the basement, and you will see there is a recreation room, there is a laundry, there is a full bathroom. That house has none of those things. They only finished because the walls are with drywall, so it's considered finished, right? So unfortunately, that property will never reach that value. And sometimes, when you're looking at MLS and collecting properties to determine a price, you have to look at how many days took to sell and if there was a bidding war. Two of the properties that you gave me, they sold in the first day, right? They got in the market and immediately they were sold, right? So you can compare that with a property that was in the market for some time, is in the market for some time because nobody's willing to pay that. So what happened is, because the market has this bidding war and so many properties go way over because of really nice modernization and renovations, everybody else suffers. Every other person in that street may have their assessment value up and they have to pay more, but it doesn't mean they will get that money when they put the house in the market. So that's a problem that we face every day. This year I have turned down like 3 or 4 clients because they want to get money. The house is not valued for. We waste our time trying to get a value that is just not there, right? So I picked 3 properties that they were sold at the same price. They all had their issues, reason why they had that price. The market paid that price for that, for the houses. And I think, in my opinion, I'm not an assessor, right? The fact that that's what I paid for the house and it was there for 2 months is enough to say that that's the value of the house. The house is heated by a boiler, so it cannot have an air conditioning. All the other house has central air. That house just can't. You are not gonna put a central air because it's a boiler system, so you can't do that. So it's something that you can't repair, right? There is slope in the house also you can't repair. So for all these reasons, the house will never reach the comparables that were used to determine the assessed value. That's all that I can say.
Nancy, do you have any questions?
For your comparables, I don't see the sold date on them. You know,
They're June and July.
June, July.
I used 3 months before, before April and 3 months after April, like I do when I'm selling a house.
So
I
these
think-
are June and July 2018.
Yes. There was time that was given was April 18. And I see that you use like 16, 17,
and 18.
17 and 18, so.
Yeah.
I
Unfortunately.
didn't know I could go that
Yeah.
far because I was given April 2018.
Yeah, unfortunately, as an assessor, I'm unable to look after the reference date, and the board's not able to consider after April 1st, 2018. So our reference date is
I
April
was
1st,
not
2018.
given that
Yeah.
information.
So unfortunately, yeah, these are post-reference. That's okay. You discussed a 1 to 2 inch slope in the house?
Yes, on the
Wait.
west,
side?
southwest corner.
Did you have you gotten quotes to see if it could be repaired?
Well, the price of repairing is not worth to do it. You have to leave the house.
So no quotes on it.
I haven't.
Are you currently living in the house?
No.
Is it your own property? No. You're renting it out
It's a
then?
rental property.
So it's more of an investment property for you?
Yes.
Okay. How much are you renting it for?
1,500.
Plus utilities?
Yes.
And you said the basement, only the walls are
There
complete?
was only the walls were finished with drywall.
Drywall.
There was no room, there is no bathroom, there is no nothing there.
No
Just the-
flooring?
It's concrete. They may have some foam, but it's not a carpet, it's nothing, it's just something so you step on, it's not so cold.
Unfortunately, you don't have any pictures for the basement.
No, I don't have any picture. But maybe you have a picture in your,
All I see, my information was the electrical box and where the hot water tank is.
yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, but there is no,
It says, yeah,
there is
partially
nothing
finished.
there. And if there was something there, of course, people would try to sell that, right? It was just open house. But I think the big reason why the house would not reach the value is because of the slope, and of course, you cannot have a central air, you would have to put windows, air conditioning, which like more expensive to maintain
Mhm.
the bills and.
Since you're a real estate agent, this property sold in 2015 for $260,000.
Yeah,
In your-
overpriced.
Okay, I was gonna say, in your opinion, do you think that was the overpaid?
Yes. And unfortunately, a lot of people will pay in Winnipeg. Winnipeg is considered a very risky market. Because when I moved here 14 years ago, there were houses for $10,000 that today you don't get for less than $100,000. And it's just, the value's not there, but hey, people need to live, right? they
So
pay.
people keep overpaying, or they get into bidding wars, wouldn't that be considered market value for the home, because people are willing to pay that price?
Well, if they get in, well, the problem is the resale, right? It's market value because they are paying for it, right? But in the condition that they pay, when they want to resell, it will take a lot of time for them to get equity there.
And probably
Right.
depends when they sell it too, depends on the market,
Of
right?
course, if they live 20 years in the house, 40, maybe they will get the money back. That's what everybody hopes, right? I know I can sell for more, right? And I have done this so many times. I buy properties for investments when nobody wants, right? You show a house for so many people, nobody wants. So you get that, and somebody's willing to rent, but nobody's willing to buy because they're renting. They're rent for what? For 1 year, and then they move on, right? But anyways, that's how I see it.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Richard, any questions?
Just two. I'm just confirming what I think I heard you say. There's no central air, but it's boiler heated.
Yes,
And I think I see in the photographs sort of the old water registers. Are those old registers or upgraded registers for the heating system?
you mean the top corner, this one here?
Or the hot water tank?
This one?
Yeah.
No, I'm down into the middle, it looks like a living room or.
Oh, yes, the old radiators,
They're
yes.
old radiators?
Yes.
Okay. And secondly, just confirming something Nancy said, drywall in the basement only, nothing else? No
Yes.
divide?
No, there is no
dividing walls.
division, no dividing walls, and there was a wood thing to store like tools and things like that, but not like not just wood made with wood and,
Any windows?
yes, the windows are large. The basement, they are not developed, but they could be, because of the size of the windows, they could have a rec room, but they just didn't finish.
Okay, thank you very much.
Giselle?
Yes, could you tell me how the slope of the house is affecting the house itself, aside from its sloping?
Well, some people have no effect on them, but most people will they feel dizzy when they get in, especially when they get in the house on the left side and the dining room, right? And then you have the inconvenience, you have to put stuff under every furniture if you want them to look level, right? But when you get in the house, you feel immediately there is a slope there. and you just put a little ball in the boardroom, right? So it's visible and you feel it.
Okay,
Right.
and you say that the floor in the basement is not finished, it's concrete?
Yes.
Yes. Are there cracks?
Well.
Is there water running into the
maybe-
basement?
No,
Any
what
of those
hap-
things?
No, what
No.
is written in the documentation of the house is the basement is unknown. So you don't wanna open the walls to see what is there, right? It is working, is there, is solid, right? But it's unknown. It doesn't say concrete if you look at in the description of the house. The other two shows concrete, but there is unknown, so we don't know what is there. Hopefully it is concrete, it could be cracked. I haven't looked, right? Like I said, bought the house because nobody wanted it.
But I'm asking about the floor. I thought you said it was concrete.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
it's
just
con-
trying to understand.
The floor is concrete.
Okay. Have there been any upgrades to the home at all since you purchased it?
Since I purchased, no. Not even painted, right? There has been some renovation done before I purchased
Okay.
by the guy, but it still was not enough to make the house appealing.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
The days on market, what was the average days on market back in the time that you purchased this home?
Oh, good question. One of the others that I looked, so that 4, I can check it right here. From the houses that were given here, they were 1,108 days. I can tell you that the house that was used as comparable. But it would take me some time to look at the average at that time when I bought mine. But in that area, that's a hot area, St. James. Everybody wants, so if the house is good, it shouldn't take more than 7 days to sell.
And the heating system was upgraded before too, right? Because it's got the high efficiency boiler in it now?
Boiler, yeah.
The electrical was redone. Nope, that's it. I've got no further questions. Thank you very much for your presentation, and you'll be hearing from us.
Thank you.
Oh, Richard's got one more
Oh,
question
I'm
for you.
sorry.
I may have missed this, but what is your assessment of the value? What do you think it should be valued at?
Well, when I have to sell a house, what I do is look at the worst case scenario and the best case scenario, right? The price is the price that the market is willing to pay. I would assess the house at the price I paid for, $229,900.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will move on to 214 Dorian Bay. Edgar A. David. We'll get you sworn in.
Good morning. Will you swear in or affirm today?
Yes.
Start. Please state your name.
Edgar David.
Do you swear the evidence you'll present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Do you have anything to distribute to the panel? Thank you.
Nancy, when you are ready.
Thank you. Okay, parcel ID 0722020000. 214 Dorian Bay. It's in the Crescent Wood area. For this property, I completed a desktop review by reviewing the data on file, aerial pictures, any permits available, along with any available MLS listings. For you today, I have attached the pictures of the property as the current condition. It is a one-story home built in 1962. It's 1,034 square feet in size. It does have basement finish, one full bath, has air conditioning, and it has a detached single garage. The assessed lot size is 5,495 square feet. At the bottom, the sale history, it was purchased post-reference in March of 2019 for $282,000, and previously it was purchased in November of 2014 for $265,000. I have 4 comparables, all in the Crescentwood area. They're all one-stories, built between 1961 to 1969. They range in size from 1,025 square feet to 1,061 square feet. They all have some basement finish. Bathroom ranges from 1 to 2 bathrooms. Comparable 2 does not have air conditioning, while the remaining do. Comparable 1 and 3 do not have garages. Comparable 2 has a single detached garage, and comparable 4 has the detached multiple garage. The lot size ranges from 5,100 square feet to 5,500 square feet. Comparable number 2 has land influences of a school. And, okay, so the time adjusted sale price ranges from $262,100 to $289,700, or $247 a square foot to $278 a square foot. After reviewing the comparables, in my opinion, these comparables support the assessment of $270,000 for the reference date of April 1st, 2018. Thank you.
Do you have any questions of the assessor before you make your presentation? No? Giselle?
No, I have no questions.
Richard?
Thank you.
Nope.
Did you visit any of the other properties that you've got on here?
I would have just reviewed the MLS listings.
You didn't drive by?
No.
Did the MLS show that the windows had been replaced on 2 of them? Or any of them, I should say?
One for sure. 23 Ashern. Ashern. Yeah, you can see on my comparables, has an effective age of 1973, so it did have some renovations that extended the life of the home. Same with 338 Morgan, has an effective age. This one did have some renovations as well, and did have a newer kitchen. So one for sure had windows redone, 23 Ashern. 338 Morgan. It appears to have older windows in the front at least. Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
on with your presentation.
So first, we just moved in last March, so barely just 4 months ago. So I am just trying to keep at the same amount that we were able to purchase it, as we are still trying to settle down. And then
That was 282,000,
yeah.
and that's where you want the number to be?
No, I mean the original property assessment. I think around
Oh, the
263.
previous, okay.
Yeah. So as we are still trying to settle down. I am hoping that we can keep it at that amount. Okay. And then second, I don't believe that the previous owner did major or significant home improvements since the last assessment. So the basement is finished, but it's not updated and just basic finish. Yeah. And then there are some issues too with the sloping on the driveway, which is not obvious on the listing. And when after this spring, we were only to found out some issue like sloping, the shingles, and some wear and tear, as shown in my evidence. I don't think the assessment is enough to sell the house with this wear and tear.
Any questions, Nancy?
How many bathrooms are in the property?
One full on the main floor and half bath on the basement.
So just the sink and toilet in the basement, or is there a shower?
Shower, yeah.
When you purchased the property, did you get a home inspection?
No.
Is there a particular reason why you chose not to get one?
I have a family friend who knows how to do it, so it's just informal inspection. Then
So you provided pictures today of the property.
mhm.
Were these visible when you purchased the property?
Not everything, because some of them, the shingles, there was still snow when we
Right.
inspected it, and then the driveway it was filled with snow, so
Correct. Okay.
there's no way you can really,
So the outside was healing when you bought it?
yeah.
Okay, so you're aware of that. Can you explain your picture number 3? I don't quite understand
Yes.
what
Oh,
this
yeah.
picture is.
There was a thunderstorm 2 days ago,
Yep.
so there was leaking on the attic. Some leak. So you can only see that one during heavy thunderstorms, as what we had just 2 days ago.
And could you explain picture number 4 as well? I'm quite
Number.
not 100% sure what this is as well.
Which one?
This
This
one.
one.
There are the eaves through need some fixing on the leak. Eaves through and the soffit and fascia. They need some repairs too. That's what I meant in the evidence.
Just looking at the pictures, so you would have a newer kitchen in the home when you purchased it? It looks like newer cabinets versus original 1962 cabinets? Are they?
Yeah, this is the one that I have now.
Yep, so they're maple cabinets,
Yeah.
and the main bathroom has been renovated as well, correct?
Yeah.
So overall, you would say the condition of your home is in average condition? It's been mostly maintained other than a few items? Like the roof?
I can say it's average condition. But there are some issues that I don't think the assessed value you can sell that for right now.
Do you plan to do any work on the home? Like maybe replacing the roof or anything like that?
Yeah.
So that's just regular maintenance, like replacing the roof when it's old and?
Yeah, but I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think you can sell that amount to its current condition now.
No further questions.
Richard?
Mhm. Regarding the roof,
Mhm.
did you question whether it was the original roof or it had been replaced at some time?
According to the it's 7 years old.
7 years old?
Yeah, so that's what the realtor discussed with me.
And on this photograph, are you implying that there is mold in there? Have you had someone look at that?
Not yet, but there's something is leaking there.
Yes.
That's what I want to show. Yeah,
But you can't tell whether there's actual mold in the lumber, eh?
I know.
No, we don't know that yet. No, that's fine, thanks.
Gisela?
Yes, when your friend did your home assessment for you prior to your purchasing the home, did he or she indicate to you that the roof would need to be replaced?
He told me there's no replacement right now. But the thunderstorm, you can only know if there's something leaking after that big thunderstorm. So the previous thunderstorm not that strong, there was no leak. Only the 1-2 days ago that was a little heavy and for a long period. So
Okay. And is he or she the one that told you that the shingles were 7 years old?
no, the realtor and the realtor.
Okay. Have you made any upgrades to the home at all since you have moved into it?
No.
No. You paid $282,000 post-assessment for the home, I see, in terms of the sales history. And what do you think the assessment should be?
I am hoping to keep it at the same value before, around 263.
263.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
See, you got my question. Thank you very much. You'll be hearing from us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Seven 41 Martin Avenue. Isn't that right? No, I'm sorry, Tweed. 741, so 459 Tweed.
Trying to give me a heart attack.
I wanted to give you a different house. I'm gonna give you a different
Good
house.
morning, will you swear in or?
Put it on the flyer, eh?
Swear.
I'd be like,
Please state your name. Do you swear the evidence you'll present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Do you have anything to distribute to the panel today?
Yes.
We'll do Tweed first, please. Do you just have the one set of copies? Okay. So how would you like to proceed? Do you want to look at these first?
you know what? I'll do my presentation, so
Okay.
they can review it,
Okay.
and then I'll review my
Okay.
presentation.
Sure.
And that would be best, so we can continue along.
Okay.
There we go.
Yep, sorry. Alright. So parcel ID 14090350000, 49 Tweed Avenue. It's in the Chalmers area. For this property, I completed a desktop review by reviewing data on file, aerial pictures, any permits if available, along with any available MLS listings. It is a one-story built in 1912, 680 square feet, part basement, one bathroom, and a single detached garage. Lot size is 2,761 square feet. The 2020 assessment is at $122,000 or $179.41. My four comparables are all in the Chalmers area. They're all one stories, built between 1910 and 1915. They range in size from 640 square feet to 680 square feet. They all have part basement, they all have one washroom. Comparable 2 does not have air conditioning, the remaining do. Comparable 1 and 2 and 4 have a single detached garage, comparable 3 does not. The lot size ranges from 2,313 square feet to 2,542 square feet. The time adjusted sale price ranges from $119,500 to $135,000, or $175.74 a square foot to $210.94 a square foot. These comparables, in my opinion, support the $122,000 value for as the market value for April 1st, 2018 reference date. Thank you.
Do you have any questions of the assessor?
Oh, yes. I don't see any garage when I bought a property.
Pardon me?
You say it has a detached garage?
Yes.
I never saw the garage.
Never been a garage here?
Uh,
As long as you've owned it?
Yeah, I bought it without.
Or without? Okay.
Let's get rid of the garage.
Get rid of the garage. It's a single? Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I don't know if you had the time to drive by and look at the foundation. This is
Unfortunately, I did not, I'm sorry.
I just will describe this in all 1912 stone shallow foundation, no garage, and as you see in the pictures, all along the foundation is cracked inside and outside. So yeah, and water leaks, especially when it rains, and a small partial basement where is the washer and dryer, hot water tank, and the furnace. Yeah, so that is how it is. It's an old house, and it's no access to the back addition and the north side. It's no crawl space. It's just a hole someone made it and drive it in the ducting pipes, but it's no access. I don't know how they made it. Yeah, and it's a little cooler in winter. The tenant is used most for storage there. Yeah, and this shifting of the ground, shrinking and expanding is affecting the interior flooring, which I renovated this one. I put it all around the house, vinyl planks, and now they're separating, especially in the living room. And it's, the joists in this particular old house are 6 inch, which they don't make anymore like that. Minimum is 8, right? And that is how is this house. And the value they put in the city of Winnipeg for sale, I mean, assessed, yeah, it's a little higher, but if the city of Winnipeg would like to buy that property, I'd be very happy to get that money.
We'll see if she has some questions after she looks at the pictures.
One question for sure, may I keep pictures by any chance?
Is
So we
yours?
can put them on file?
Is
We'll
yours?
have to make copies of
Oh, yes, okay, for sure. Yeah, I just liked. You said a tenant is living in the house?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a low income tenant. I
Okay.
charge $800 a month.
Plus utilities, correct?
Yes.
You said you put new flooring in, I heard vinyl planking. Any other work that you've done inside the house to kind of somewhat maintain it?
Yes, fix it up inside, paint it again. That was the same tenant. They move out and then come in when it was finished. But the plants are separating because the shifting of the ground affecting inside. You have pictures over there. I don't know how I can win this. To keep up, to renting in proper condition there. Yeah.
No further questions, thank you.
Gisella, any questions?
I have no questions, thank you.
Richard?
In your mind, do you have an assessed value you would like to see?
Not over, the price of the land, as I believe, is around 60,000. You added whatever is the construction of the house or construction, would be 98,000.
Thank you.
How long have you owned the property?
I believe it's 6 years at least. I have to.
So you bought it after, the 2008 sale was not you then? The 2008 sale was not you?
I believe so. I need to see where I am. Let's go this 2008 you say?
2008, when it sold for 60,000.
Yeah, that was
That was you?
60,000, wasn't it?
8. So that'd be 10,
Yeah,
11
yeah.
years ago.
I lost time for this. Yeah. Time flies.
Time flies when you're having fun. The,
Lots of fun.
I'm gonna have another look at the pictures after. Leave that with us, and you'll hear from us on that property. We'll move on to your other property at 575 Castle.
Yep.
Yes, yes, please. Yeah.
Yep. We'll do the same way, maybe? Yes, please. So you guys just scan it and email that to me. Great, thank you.
Alright, parcel ID 1409 575 Castle Avenue. It's in the Talbot Gray area. Also, again, for this property, it's just a desktop review by reviewing the data on file, Burrow pictures, any permits available, along with any available MLS listing. It's a one-story built in 1913, 715 square feet, park basement, 1 bathroom, no other features. Assessed lot size is 3,474 square feet. The 2020 assessment is $135,000 or $188.81 a square foot. All 4 comparables are in the same neighborhood, 1 story built between 1912 and 1929. They range in size from 640 square feet to 784 square feet. All have park basement, range from 1 to 1.5 bathrooms. Only 1 has an air conditioner. 3 of them do have garage, 1 does not. The lot size ranges from 2,219 square feet to 3,858 square feet. Comparable number 2 does have commercial adjacent influence, median traffic, as well as a bus route. The time adjusted sale price ranges from $123,100 to $177,600 or $161.55 a square foot to $241.88 a square foot. In my opinion, these comparables support the market value of $135,000 for the reference date of April 1st, 2018. Thank you.
Do you have any questions of the assessor on the information?
Yeah, again, did you have the chance to drive by?
No,
Okay,
sorry.
that's fine. Okay, this house is also with a shallow foundation, all concrete, and this one is different from the previous one. 2 feet of concrete, which is crack all along the house, around the house. Yeah, and leaks when rains a lot. And no, it's still humid down there. You will see in the pictures. What else? The shingles, yeah, need attentions for sure. The basement is just, I don't know who made it, have to work hard to lift it up the main beam under the house, because the concrete was supposed to support it, just give up and crack there. So I have a good time under the crawl space there. And just is in the middle of the house, the partial foundation is about the height of 7 feet only for the furnace, what time you wash and dry. And you can see the cracks from outside and from inside. One time I remember I put on the market, but we stayed for the whole period of 3 months and never, no offers. So nobody
What price did you list at?
that time I think it was 98,000. No offers. Nothing.
Nancy, any questions?
I need to see the pictures
No, you
first.
gotta see the
Sorry.
pictures.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Oh, here.
I could start with, so you did say you put it on the market at one time, that was in 2010? Roughly?
But it was that time.
Around that time, okay, yeah. I do see it, I did pull it, original price was 104,900, and then reduced to 99,900 with that.
Okay. Yes, you have.
Any work done to the house, like on the main floor, any new flooring, new kitchens, or anything like that?
I work to lift it up. The kitchen, right?
The floor?
Floor,
Okay.
yes. Because in that such a condition, I couldn't rent it. So, and yeah, I lift it up, level it up, the kitchen area. Yeah, I put it a few times already, vinyl flooring and yeah, plants.
And this property is being rented out as well?
Yes, $800.
$900?
Eight.
Pardon?
8?
Oh, sorry, 8, plus utilities, correct?
Yes.
Just noticing on the first picture here, the window up top has like a air conditioning unit. Is there livable space up top?
It's a lot air, yeah.
So it's finished up top?
Yes, has the wood, flooring wood in there. The regular wood,
Okay.
yeah.
Like normal flooring, drywall, someone can use it as a loft or a bedroom?
Yes, they
Do you
use
know-
as a storage over there.
Okay. You know roughly the square footage of that space? It's just,
It's just what it is in the, you can tell the width of the house very small, it's not.
very small, yeah.
Yeah, it's, the highest part I believe is 6.5 feet. Yeah, it's,
Okay.
yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah, it's not something we have on record. I only have it as a one
Yeah,
story.
I bought it like this.
You bought it like that? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Have you got any quotes to fix the foundation or any plans to do any fixing of the property?
I have to gather $60,000. The city of Winnipeg is be very sympathize with me. Buy one property, I can fix that one of the foundations. Yeah, the cost would be about $60,000 for the new foundation.
No further questions, thank you.
Richard?
You mentioned you had done some work on lifting the floor. Was there any decorating work done in the house at all? Painting, counters, cupboards? I didn't see anything
Oh, okay.
from the photographs we saw. I didn't
Okay.
get an impression.
I did painting. Oh, when I rent, I have to paint the house because the previous tenant, they charged
That's the
kids.
interior,
interior.
but not the exterior.
No,
Okay.
exterior is the same vinyl, which was not properly installed because sometimes it's, I don't know, it's not well installed. So in some areas it has holes, and that is how it is. Yeah.
Now, where do you think the property should be assessed? What value?
The area is nice, I mean, it's coming out from the tree, but because in the situation of the foundation, 98,000,
Thank you.
yeah, something like that.
That's it for me, Marcel.
Gisela?
I have no questions, thank you.
And I've got none. The pictures speak for themselves. Thank you very much for your presentation.
No,
You'll be
thank you
hearing
for
from
your
us.
time.
We'll now move on to 70 Buckle Drive. Carol. And don't worry if you don't have enough, we'll share it, even though I take copies.
We got lots.
Will you swear in or affirm this morning?
Swear in.
Please state your name.
William Robert Lewis.
Do you swear the evidence you'll present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Swear.
All these in case I
Please state your name. Do you swear the evidence you present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Do you guys have stuff to distribute?
We do.
That's great. Thank you so much.
The hot seat.
It is? It's all good.
When you're ready, Nancy.
Thank you. Parcel ID 01004624000, 70 Buckle Drive. It's in the Bedsworth area. I did complete a desktop review on this property, reviewing the data on file, aerial pictures, any permits if available, along with any available MLS listing. This property was purchased within the reference period, July 2017, for $353,000. I have submitted the expired, actually it's a withdrawn MLS listing back in 2017 for your exhibit with the pictures showing the condition of the property. Okay. So it's a one-story, built in 1976. It does have an effective age to consider the renovations that have occurred on the home that prolong the life of the property. It has 1,176 square feet, has basement finish, 2 bathrooms, air conditioning, and an attached single garage. The assessed lot size is 5,999 square feet. So the 2020 assessment is $355,000 or $301.87 a square foot. I have 4 comparables in the same neighborhood. They're all one-stories built between 1976 and 1979. comparable one does have an effective age. It also had some renovations that prolonged the life of the property. The living area ranges from 998 square feet to 1,176 square feet. They all have finished basement, bathrooms range from 2 to 3. They all have air conditioning, they all do have a fireplace. Comparable one has a multiple detached garage. The remaining comparables have an attached single garage similar to the subject. The lot size ranges from 5,495 square feet to 5,999 square feet. 2 of them are on external corners, 1 of them is on an internal corner. The time adjusted sale prices range from 322,900 to 355,500, or $281.52 a square foot to $356.21 a square foot. After reviewing the comparables and the subject sale, in my opinion, the $355,000 is the market value for the property as of April 1st, 2018, reference date. Thank you.
Do you have any questions of the assessor before you make your presentation?
Well, she says she thinks that this is the value is where it should be at. I disagree.
Yeah, but do you have any questions? I'll let you disagree when you make your presentation.
Not at this time, no.
No? Gisela, do you have any questions of the assessor?
No, not at this time.
Richard,
No, I'm fine.
did you go by the house? Did you,
I did actually. It looks.
just did a drive-by?
I did a drive-by and it looks exactly what the picture showed. There's actually, it appears a detached garage being built in the rear with, which an open permit has been taken
That's
out.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which has not been completed yet, so
No.
that's not on the assessment. Still
But
being,
that's for another day, right?
that is another day. That
That's
would be
another
probably
day.
for the 22, the assessment, okay?
We'll see you again.
Yep.
And I've got no questions at
Thank
this
you.
time, so let's get on with your presentation.
Okay, for your comparables, comparable 3, comparable 4, we don't have a fireplace. We don't have, comparable 4 has 3 baths, we have 2. But that's something my issue is. My issue is that we purchased the property. If you read our cover letter, or information sheet, or I guess cover letter, board of revision letter. As we stated here, when we purchased, we downsized, looking for a property to buy. We looked at, I don't know, numerous homes. And if you don't act right away, chances of getting something that's desirable is just not gonna happen. So we act like, as I state here, we acted quickly. We purchased a property that, we know we overpaid for it. But if we didn't pay the price that they're asking, we never got the property. Can I talk while you read?
Mm-hmm, please do.
So, what I'm trying to say is that with your comparables for that were sold in the same area, roughly the same square footage, for example, 18 Seville, assessed at $334, sold for $322. Exactly same square footage. 42 Barbara, assessed at $337, sold for $328. 35 Norlorm, assessed at $332, sold for $320. And to our tax assessment, first off, it was at $318 assessed value, then proposed market value of $326. And we sold the property for we bought the property for $353. The assessed value is $355. So I figured that the assessor looked at the actual purchase price and use that as gospel at $355. In my board revision letter, it's like I'm explaining to you that if we didn't pay the money that actually act quickly on the property, we would never secured the property, right? We wouldn't be able to purchase it. So that's my, for what I paid. No, I'm not seeing that. So if we wouldn't have paid the $353, we've never secured the property. And the second, I think the assessor took that as gospel, as using that as what the property's actually worth, even though we paid more than what it actually is worth. This is a tough call.
Are you gonna come forward now?
The reason why we were looking for a house, when we downsized, we wanted to go into an apartment. After 3 months, couldn't take it. So 3 months after being in the apartment, we started looking for a house. So it took us almost a year to find a house, a small house.
We had a bigger house in Linwood, so we sold it, we downsized. Yeah. And all our friends and family were saying they love apartment life. No way.
Don't do it.
So that's why we're here today. But even that's like, I think that 326 would be, I think, the right market value for the property or assessed value. From what we've been looking at through the listings in MLS.
Do you have any questions, Nancy?
Yes, thank you. In your letter, you looked at approximately 100 houses.
Oh, yeah.
Were you looking just in the Charleswood area?
No, we
Oh.
tried Westwood, Crestview,
Okay.
Charleswood,
Right.
River Heights.
Okay.
They're-
Okay.
They're saying turnkey and you need a lot of work.
Okay, so you were looking for a renovated home? This
Well,
essentially
80% anyway,
80% like newer kitchen, newer bathroom type thing?
Well, something to start with, right? But these places, they needed foundation work, you see cracks in foundation, you see water damage.
Okay, the homes you were looking at?
Yeah.
And yet they were still asking for, you said here at top dollar,
Oh.
that were handyman specials?
Yes. Yeah, very much so.
Okay. I did review your sale. We look at the condition of the home and the upgrades that were done to the home. And that's how we calculate, you see on the comparable sheet, the effective age, we put 10 years. Because all the work that was done to the home has prolonged the life of the home and is no longer original 1976 home, with the upgrades that were done to your home. By putting the 10 years, it so happens that the effective age, the assessment came at $355. It's not just looking at your sale price, we're looking at what was done to the home, more than the sale price. Yeah, we're not to chase sale prices, we are to update our data based on the information.
But isn't your criteria on square footage and lot size?
We do factor that in too. We factor in different characteristics and the upgrades of the home.
Because every house has a floor and a kitchen and, they all
Yeah.
have these things, whether elaborate or not, right?
Right.
Square footage and lot size, I thought that was a criteria.
They are with other things as well. Now, would you say, because you've been looking at a lot of houses, it's unbelievable
It
that
is.
you had so much patience for that.
I'm a patient guy.
Would you say that a turnkey house is valued or worth more, in your opinion, to a dated home? Like, would you pay the same amount for a dated home that needed more work? Or would you pay less?
Dated, if it's been manicured or taken care of, dated, yes. It could be the same value. But I mean, if it's like dated, as in foundation problems, roof problems, heating, ventilation, or heating, air conditioning, the major expenses, that's costly, you know. But if it's just cosmetic, like paint or whatever, that's not a big deal.
How about for a dated kitchen, dated bathroom, where you would spend, what, 30, 40 grand updating the main floor?
Or you can spend $8 grand on the kitchen too, though. You can buy IKEA cabinets, $5,000 will do it, right?
Yeah.
Other than appliances.
Correct. Okay. No further questions?
Do you have any questions, Richard?
Do you remember what the asking price was when you paid that through?
$356 or $358.
So you came down a little bit in price, eh? It's not
He
just
did.
close, a ballpark number is good. And so when you saw that price, is this the condition of the home, these photos that we have?
Yes.
That's correct.
So
Yes.
you bought it as it is
As you
here?
see, as you see here.
Which
Yes.
looks fairly pristine and fairly well looked after, is that true?
Yeah.
Cosmetically,
Well, yeah.
okay.
But I was more concerned with other things than just the cosmetic, right?
That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
Cosmetically, it looks nice. What about the roof,
Roof is good.
furnace,
Furnace is
hot water heater?
Within 10 years.
Okay, and the structure,
Structure, good.
foundation?
Foundation sound.
Okay. State of the landscaping?
Landscaping was, when we bought it, wasn't very good. There's no landscaping, the outside wasn't touched at all.
Okay, so not professional
No,
landscaping?
no, they didn't touch the outside at all.
Okay.
But the outside, the house was okay.
And have you subsequently upgraded?
We have.
Okay. Have you done, you haven't had to do any work to the rest of the property, or the foundation, the roof, et
No,
cetera, because you're
no,
happy with
that's
it?
all sound.
Thank you very much.
Gisella?
I am just wondering why you think you overpaid when
Well,
you purchased the home.
Well, I mean, compared to the square footage and the lot size for the area, I think I overpaid. From what I see out there, what's available right now, I think we overpaid. But the thing is, like I tried to say in my letter, that if we didn't overpay, we would never bought the house. Because they just don't last long. If you want something, you have to, like we bought years ago, it's amazing how things have changed. You know, there was no bidding wars, there was no, they don't say that, okay, on 2 weeks from now, the house will be on the market at this amount, you know, at listing, whatever the price is, and you can put in your bids, whatever. That's what it's all about now, you know, so if you don't secure it, if you don't go 10, 12, 20, 30,000 bucks higher, the reality is, you're probably not gonna buy the house. I hate this, you know, years ago, you buy a house, I would look at it, and if you like it, put an offer, and you're probably gonna get the house. But that's not how it is anymore. We haven't bought a house for 30 years,
Right.
over 30 years.
It's a shock.
It's a shock. Like, you know, you figure you sell your house, you make a decent buck from what you're selling. And going to an apartment, I figure that's okay, that's cool, right? But then if you gotta rebuy a house again, it's a different story. And when we listed our place, they said about how nice our house was, how well maintained. And I said, I asked myself, why do you say that? Because we never looked at a house, we haven't looked at a house for years. He said, well, when you see what's out there, we weren't looking for an apartment, not a house. So we didn't really get into it until you start looking for a house again. And the houses are not what you think you're buying. Like, things are coming up, you're very careful what you buy. And I've been around for a while myself, but I mean, I still had the house appraised, checked out, you know, with inspector. Yeah.
Richard?
So coming back to that point then, in 2017, which I think is when you bought the house,
Yes,
you looked at many houses.
we did.
When I do the math, at 353,000 of that square footage, it's about $300 a foot.
$301.80.
But I think that's overvalued.
But at the time that you bought the home, you looked at all of these homes, was that not remarkably similar to what you had been paying elsewhere?
50 grand more maybe
No, don't worry about the
Oh.
price per square foot.
per square foot.
About $300 a foot? Was
No.
that excessive in your mind?
Yes, it was.
It was, okay.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Giselle, you had another question?
I just want to confirm for the information that you submitted, you have the assessed values of these homes, and then you have sold price here on each
Yes.
of these homes.
That's from the city.
Okay, when were these homes sold? Do you know when they were sold?
That,
It does say, doesn't it?
no, I didn't write that down because it's right from the city,
Yes, but I'm just
from their
wondering.
website.
Okay,
They were following.
but we're looking at sales as of a certain date, so that's why I'm wondering.
These are all in the same time.
These would have been on the city's website that they
Yeah,
would
it's from the
have.
January
this is a-
1st, 2016,
This is off your
April
website.
20th, the residential sales book.
Okay.
I didn't write the actual sale time.
No, it's okay. The 42 Barbara and 35 Norman, the
Yeah.
where you're looking at, they're actually on my sales comparable
Yeah, they're on
sheet.
her
Okay.
comparison.
Yeah, that's
Um,
good. That's
They're
good.
comparable number 3 and comparable number
Okay,
4.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
That's where it came from.
Anything else, Priscilla?
No, that's it for me, thank you, Marcel.
Are you aware, no, I might have to go back to Nancy and ask her this question, but 1979 was the 42 Barbara. That one might have 2x6 construction, but possibly not. Does yours have the 2x6 or is it 2x4?
2x4.
Because 76, there was very few that had it.
Yeah. Ours was built in 76.
Yeah, 79, some of them did.
But the only thing about 76 is, if I can elaborate on that?
Yep,
Like the wiring in 76, no more aluminum, it has copper wire. Yeah.
you had copper by then.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, Nancy? Do you take that into account when you're bringing the effective age up to 1986, that anything after 1980 would have 2x6 walls, not 2x4 walls, for insulation purposes and other purposes? It's just, a real estate agent and an assessor usually takes that into account when they're evaluating a house.
You know what, if on my comparables I had like a 1980 home or newer, I would consider the age, knowing that, yeah, the construction of it is different. Anything before 1980, I do not consider.
But you brought the effective age up to 1986 on this home.
It still has the, yes,
But it
I
doesn't-
see what you mean.
You see what I mean?
It's not.
Yeah, it's still the original construction on the
Construction is
outside, but all the upgrades that were done to it, we have to factor that in as well, yes.
But do you see the difference between an actual 1986 versus a 76 because of the construction and the value related to the 2x6 construction versus 2x4?
But I'm still considering homes built in 1970,
Mm-hmm.
plus the effective age of all the upgrades of the home.
Can I jump in for a sec?
Sure.
You know, in our house in Lindenwood, it was built 86.
Yeah.
2x6 construction. The heating cost alone is a lot less than what it is in this house here.
Mhm.
This house is smaller by a fair amount, but our utilities are more.
Yeah. So yeah, when I'm looking at it, I'm still looking at 1970 homes and then considering all the upgrades on it. So none of my comparables were built in the 80s, so,
Two of them were 79.
yeah,
79 probably
May or
2
may
by
not.
6 because they started in 79 doing it. 78 actually, some of them.
for those two, I'm not, I don't have the information.
You don't have any other information on that?
If it was 2x4 or 2x6, unless it would say on the MLS listing. But I don't think it does, actually.
So-
Here.
When I'm looking at this, Nancy, I'm seeing 2, 3, and 4, which are comparable houses, according to yourself. And they're all coming in on 289, 281, 289. Why would you end up with the 301?
Comparable 2, 3, and 4 didn't have updates to the house. So
2,
they-
3, and 4?
Yeah, they have oak cabinets, their comparable 4 has a dated basement, comparable 3 is a dated home, oak cabinets. Comparable 2 is dated on the exterior, oak cabinets, so the extent of the renovations compared to the subject, these homes are, I consider them inferior to the subject. And then comparable one did have the updated kitchen, updated bathrooms, so the renovations were similar. I do understand this house is smaller though, you can see it 998 square feet, so I factored that in as well. So comparable one comes at 356 a square foot, it's smaller the house, higher the price per square foot. So the subject is 1176, so the price per square foot is lower than comparable one. So in my opinion, that the assessment is reasonable.
Okay. Anything to say in closing from either side?
No, I wish that, or I would hope that you would reconsider the tax valuation of the value, maybe around 320, 325.
Leave it with us and we'll see what we come up with.
If I get a parking ticket, who do I give it to?
Nancy?
Nope, you pay it and you send it to the parking authority.
Thank you very much for,
Thank you.
you'll be hearing from us.
Thank you.
Next property, 1250 Liberty, correct?
Yes.
Greg, come on down.
Thank you.
That's right. I see somebody coming with the whole plans for the house.
Oh, yes.
I'm
Do
ready to
you
go to
swear in
the
or
water.
affirm today?
I'll swear.
Yeah, this is gonna be a
Please state
long
your
one.
name.
Craig Gans.
Do you swear the evidence you present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth and the whole truth?
I do.
You're not distributing that.
This one I'm not, although I will be presenting it. I have some to distribute, but I have only black and white. I have one copy of color. And I think that the color is just a lot more effective, so
Okay, so the
maybe we'll do
assessor.
that one. Yeah, so there's two properties there, mine and the neighbor, which is also comparable. It's our direct neighbor. It was a lot that was subdivided.
Okay.
And so I'm using that kind of as a comparison, kind of moving forward. And these are all the same black and white.
You can have the color. Do you want to, can I take that one back for the file?
We'll see how close your number was to her number.
It's not very close.
No? Oh, you're way up. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
These
Makes it
pictures
more
are all the
interesting.
same, it's just one
Yeah.
color and one not.
Correct.
Because I would just like the color one for our file,
Yeah, you take it.
because you can scan it and then sell it to me,
That's
right?
fine.
I can send, I mean, I have your email, and
Yes, you do.
just so you know, like, Nancy called me and was hoping to
yeah.
get some
Don't worry,
pictures.
we'll go
Yeah.
through all that.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What?
I know.
I guess you get first crack at this
I
one.
do,
Sorry.
so yeah,
Yeah.
I do have some information that will
Sure.
clarify and then
Awesome.
we'll just leave it to the board. Thank you.
Nancy, oh, did you swear in already? Yeah,
I did.
right?
You did?
Nancy, when you're ready.
Good, okay. Roll number 01005-922-500. So it's 1250 Liberty Street. It is a unique property, so it is, I'll just say that at that point. I did request an inspection. Unfortunately, the homeowner was leaving town when I talked to him, so I did request him to send pictures instead. However, I did not receive them until today, so I'll definitely take a look at that. I did provide a picture in my brief. I did stop by at the house on July 9th, and I provided an exterior picture for you guys. So as a result of this information, I was only able to complete a desktop review by reviewing the data on file, aerial pictures, building permits, along with any MLS listings for the comparables. So the owner purchased the land in 2014 for $225,000. And when it was purchased, the detached garage was built in 2013, was already on the property, along with a hay shelter structure on the property. It's at the rear of the property. For assessment purposes, the hay structure does not add any value to the property. With such a unique property, and the owner did indicate to me that he built most of the house himself, therefore I did a land title search on the property just to review any encumbrance or any information on the land titles, and it did reveal that the property had a mortgage of $1 million registered in August 2014. So the homeowner did indicate that he built it himself. It was built in 2016. I am aware that this property has a pressure-treated wood foundation, so very unique. It's not concrete. So I had to review that. So the property is 2,855 square feet, according to the exterior measurements from the building plans that was received in our office. There is no basement finish, 2.5 bathrooms. There is AC, and there's actually an electrical fireplace. There is no gas to the property. That it was brought to my attention for that, reading the previous appeal on the property. The lot is irregular in shape. It's almost like an L, I guess you could say. Very unique, but the total assessed lot size is the 42,762 square feet, and the property does not have water or sewer. So currently, the 2020 assessment is at $842,000 or $291.85 a square foot. This home is certainly unique, and the area does have unique homes. It is actually quite difficult to find comparables for homes in this area, let alone a home that has a pressure-treated wood foundation. So I do have 4 comparables on the report that are in the same area. 2 of them are on the same street as the subject, with one being the neighbor. The neighbor home was built in 1930, but has gone through renovations recently. So comparable 1 is the neighbor, so it's a 1 3/4 story. The remaining are 2 stories. They are built between 1930 and 2013. Living area ranges from 2,020 to 3,362 square feet. Comparable 1 has a full part basement with no basement finish. The remaining do have basement finish. Bathrooms range from 1.5 to 4 basements, 4 full bathrooms. They all have air conditioning. The fireplace do range from 1 to 3. Comparable 1 does have the detached multiple garage, and the remaining have attached multiple garage. Lot size does range from 41,333 square feet to the 139,102 square feet. The time adjusted sale price for these comparables range from $542,000 to the $1,155,400, or $229.27 square feet to $343.66 square feet. Considering that the basement is a pressure-treated wood foundation, on the next page, I did research on this type of basement and the resale value in the market. So if you flip to the next comparable, you will see comparable 1 has a pressure wood foundation. It is in the Charleswood area, so in the Marlton area. It was built in 1987. And time adjusted sold for $566,400. I tried to find a similar comparable to determine if there was any market evidence. So I found one comparable on Oakdale, a little smaller, and it has a concrete foundation, smaller lot, so it sold for $556,300 square feet. Comparable 3 and 4 are in the Riverview. Comparable 3 does have a pressure wood foundation. And it was built in 2008, so it is newer. So time adjusted sold for $346,100. It does have basement finish, so I had to consider that with the garage. So when I was looking at comparable number 4, which is on the same street, newer built, slightly smaller, and this one has the concrete foundation. Time adjusted, it sold for $337,800. So definitely limited sales of the pressure wood foundation in Winnipeg, and trying to find a comparable to compare it to. Thus, it is difficult to determine market evidence if a pressure wood foundation sells lower than a concrete foundation. However, I did take that in consideration when I was reviewing the value. So when I looked at value, I considered the age of the home, because it is a new construction home in the area, and then I considered the pressure-treated wood foundation and how it may affect the value of the property. I also considered the lien against the property, and despite the large amount owing on the property, when I did my sales analysis, it is my opinion that the market value of this home as of April 1st, 2018 is $755,000. Therefore, at this time, I request the board to consider my recommendation at $755,000 instead of the $842,000. Instead of the $842,000 as the market value of this home as of April 1st, 2018. Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
Got that?
Got
Craig?
that all, thank you.
Okay, questions?
Question?
Yes.
First question. An older garage, would that change the effective age?
It does not.
Why not?
For assessment purposes, a garage is a garage, unfortunately.
But for assessment purposes, which is what this is,
Yeah,
you're looking at the age of the property, right?
I'm looking at the age of the home, yes.
So it sounds like you're saying no.
Not for a
Because
garage.
it doesn't, so.
Yeah.
Fair enough, wouldn't agree with that, but
Yeah,
that's
I
your.
know, yeah. Your
justification.
garage was
Yeah.
built in 2013?
I don't exactly know it was
Yeah.
there when I bought it. I thought it was actually 2004, but
No, actually, when the land was subdivided.
maybe that was 2004, the subdivision.
No, actually, no.
Okay.
Actually, it was 2004.
8?
No, it was more recent because a colleague and I actually did the subdivision, so.
Okay.
So it was a lot newer than that with the previous owner. Just give me 1 second here.
It's probably not really important. I just wondered if the effective age should be adjusted if there are older buildings that are being assessed.
Yeah,
If that's not the way you do things, I guess that
so yeah.
could be considered, but doesn't have to.
We did an exterior inspection November 2013, and the new garage was built on the vacant land. So therefore, it is a newer garage. It's not like a 1950 garage.
No, no.
Right,
No.
so it is a little newer.
But numbers matter in this game. Okay, next question, and very important to this one is the building type. 2 years ago, I was here and we had a discussion about this, and the city still has not corrected. This is not a two-story building. I have all the documentation here. If you need me to give you more information, I'm happy to do so, but this is a 1 3/4 story house.
And that's why I asked for the
Yeah.
inspection.
The
Right.
inspection?
When I talked to you on the phone?
Well, I have the documents. You have, like, these are City of Winnipeg drawings.
Yes.
And there's no question about it if you look at these drawings, that this is a 1
I have
3/4.
the building permits.
Yeah.
From the new build and the building plans.
Yeah.
From the second story, I'm unable to tell like where
Well,
the
from the
roof is
second-
not full, right?
From the second story, you can see one thing for sure. You can see that it's not a full second story. What you can't see from the plan is where the ceiling slopes, but you can see that in the building section. So if you would have done a thorough research of that, you would have seen how the 3/4 building type is kind of communicated both in plan and in section. So that has to be changed. That's crucially important to all of this discussion moving forward. And I'm hoping to just kind of, before we even move forward, get that taken care of. Would you like me to show you where?
Yes, please.
Okay, awesome. I'd be happy to.
What's your total square footage that you come up with?
Well, the total square footage that's submitted to the city for the building permit was, main floor was main floor was 1442, second floor was 1244. So, this is the layout of the second floor. It's hard to see. This is the layout of the second floor. This dotted line, that indicates the layout of the main floor.
Yes,
And then,
which we have, yeah.
which you have, yeah, so
Yeah,
you can
that's
see,
fine.
this area is about 80% of the main floor area.
We have it all.
Yes, awesome. Okay, next. You can see here in building section, right here, this, in areas where there is no dormer, you have a 3/4 situation. So the ceiling slopes above the corridor, or it's above the stairwell, above all the closets, and in some areas above the bedroom. So I took a picture of that. That's all included in your photographic information. But there's no question about that. This is not a 2-story building. And, so if there's any more information that you need to like set this straight, I'm happy to give it to you. I have one more question, or do you wanna deal with this one?
Can I ask
Because we're
questions?
still in question
Sure, go ahead.
period.
Yeah, okay.
I'll let you open up.
Thank you, I appreciate that. So you say you submitted 1442 for the main floor.
Yes.
Is that measurements inside or exterior?
Those are, I believe they're inside measurements.
Okay, we do exterior
Yes,
measurements,
that's
so
correct.
on your plans,
Yeah.
I do see the exterior measurements, so we actually sketch it
Perfect.
based on the
Yeah.
exterior, so the main floor,
Yes.
okay, we have it as 1,534 square feet, when we
Okay.
take the exterior measurements, okay?
Sorry, can you say that one more time?
1,534 square feet.
Okay,
Currently, we have the upper floor at 1,342 square feet. 'Cause
okay, so
as
that
you
one will be tougher to find out.
Yes.
Because, yeah,
Because you know how you did show me on your big
Yeah.
plans, oh my god, this is so,
yeah, so that,
you know how you showed the big plans where the
Yeah.
roof line is here?
Yes.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we don't have that calculated in, we just
No.
took the other measurements,
yeah,
from the exterior, so we would have sketched,
Yeah.
can you bring up your picture? Can we?
you would have sketched around that.
Yeah,
So-
so, sorry, I know, so it's the second floor, so we would have
Yeah.
sketched this part here, here,
Yeah.
here, and then came in, right? Because this is
Yeah,
the roof line, so
for
we
sure.
came in here this way.
Yeah,
So
and
we
that's
would have
fine.
done exterior this way.
And that's totally fair.
So
like,
my
yeah.
question was, because I need to know, if, like, the roof line here is
So-
not full, like,
Yeah.
if it
No,
goes in,
Absolutely.
right? So that's what I
So,
need to figure out to determine,
closets?
oops, sorry.
This closet, this
Yeah.
closet, this entire corridor running this way is half height, this is half height, and that's it. So there's both a reduction in area and a reduction in ceiling. So if you were to look at the definition by the Manitoba Building Code of a story and 3/4,
You have a red
This
pen.
would suffice.
If you don't mind, could you?
yeah, absolutely. So,
Yeah, take it in where it is. See, that's why we can't see where it is on our plans.
Yeah,
So we think
absolutely.
it's a full,
right,
So
and,
like-
and I guess that would be the point of looking at the plans in section.
Yeah.
Because you would see then where that comes from in
okay,
section.
perfect, thank you so much for that. And that way, I will recalculate it.
Okay, so these areas are 3/4 height.
Okay.
These areas are not included in the area calculation.
Yeah, here, no.
Okay.
We don't even have those in.
Right.
It's this where I'm
Yes.
questioning.
So yeah, I did just, like, I purposely designed the closets to be in the sloped area. In some situations, there's a bedroom where it's not. But it is a 1 3/4 story building, so.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. I'm glad we can get that
But can
sorted
we
out.
agree the main floor exterior measurements is the 1,500?
Yeah, if that's the number that you took.
Yeah, we
I'll-
sketched it based
yeah.
on your plans,
Yeah.
the exterior, and I will redo the second floor.
Yeah, that's fair. I can go with that.
Okay, and you know what, we'll be in further discussion once I
Sure.
recalculate it, and then hopefully we can agree on the square
Yeah.
footage.
And I'll do a calculation myself, so yeah.
Okay,
we'll-
perfect.
We'll get that sorted out.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
As for the $1 million mortgage, that's a construction mortgage. So it's a multi-purpose mortgage. You mentioned that in the liens against property. So that's no longer. So if you want me to be totally transparent, there's a $310,000 mortgage on the property. And moving forward, that was we had a $300,000 budget. So I'm gonna get a little bit into some of the comments here, but the city had actually originally suggested that that this value has gone up $240,000 in the past 2 years, which would have been almost us building this building all over again. So it was since adjusted to $155,000 of an increase, but I'll get into that maybe in a bit. I think we can wrap up the questions though.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You're done with your questions? Okay. Do you have any questions, Gisela?
Oh, I still have my statement though.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
you
no,
still have
we're
to
not
do
cutting
a
you
off.
whole
Okay, perfect.
presentation, just questions for me.
Richard, any
I
questions?
do have one.
Go ahead.
In your second document, you had said in the bold print, due to the quality of construction.
That was.
What did you mean by that? Can you just clarify for us?
I can touch on that if you like.
Well, we'll refer
Oh,
to
due to the
Okay,
quality
let's
of
talk about
construction, I was considering the pressure treated, the pressure wood foundation.
So,
Sorry,
not
yeah.
in relation to this magnificent undertaking that was underway and high-quality material and high-quality workmanship. It was just about the foundation.
I was considering the foundation, sorry, I should have clarified that.
No worries.
Just because the wood structure versus the concrete, I
Yeah.
had to consider that. It wasn't previously considered by the previous assessor, didn't believe it, so didn't believe so I'm considering it now.
Okay. I got that. No, I'm fine for now. So.
Thank you.
No, I'm not gonna get into the debate with you on this one, Nancy, over the foundation.
Thank you. I know it's,
Well, it's just foundation, footings, piles, and relating all three together is the important part, but then setting up the value. But anyway,
I'd be happy
we're
to
gonna
talk
go on
about
to your, no, we don't have to, believe me.
I'm sure you.
But you can if
It's
you'd like.
It's important to me, but.
It is, you can go ahead and do it, though. Don't-
So actually on, Richard, yeah, on your comment there, I had a note, I said I wanted to make sure it didn't say the quality of construction. I'm a carpenter, I built this house, so I would consider the quality to be high, but maybe more it was a material selection to be of a lower value. But the quality of construction, I think, is still high.
I wanted clarity on
That
that.
doesn't even need to be on file, it's just maybe for my own.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The carpenter knew what he was doing, is what he's
Oh, yeah.
saying.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, and so as long as we can also clear up that $1 million lien on the property, that,
That's all I have through land
Sure.
titles right
Yeah.
now, like I pulled it
Yeah.
a couple days ago, so
Yeah.
that's all there is, so
Okay.
I'm not.
it
if
might
you're
just need
saying-
an update, it might need an update, I might need to follow through with land
Yeah.
titles on that one, but, that's fine.
Certainly, yeah, if you have a lower mortgage, then.
Yeah, so here's,
Yeah.
and I get into this a little
Yeah, for
bit,
sure.
but, you know, I'll just start. So, 2 years ago, my wife and I were here, and that was the first time that we had received an assessment for this property. It was a new construction, we understand that. At the time, the initial assessment was $812,000. We sat here and we had a whole list of reasons why it wasn't that, and it got revised to $600,000. On 2 years ago, when we were arguing, and when we were presenting our opinion on the value, we were seeking a valuation of $500,000. The Board of Adjustment decided that 600 was fair, I assume based on the points we raised, but mainly the final question came, is that how much did the bank assess your property at? And I said it was 600,000, and so that's the number that we were working on. So $600,000 for the past 2 years was the assessed value of our property. We then received the notification that the value had gone up to $840,000, so that's a $250,000 increase, which is a little bit tough to swallow. Certainly, I think requires a lot of justification from the city to do that. We're talking about, like I said, almost doubling the value of construction to begin with. I appreciate Nancy's efforts in revising that. I still don't think that her number is correct, but I think that it was an admirable decision to at least take a look at some of the comparables with regards to the preserved wood foundation. So it is called preserved, just so you know, not pressure.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. So, I'm gonna just quickly run through my summary of reasons from 2 years ago. And I'll be really quick, it's just kind of a, really quick. So, preserved wood foundation, we've already talked about that. There's a whole lot of cost reductions when you do that. The concrete, the piles, none of that happens. So I have a footing, I have a wood basement. We're talking literally savings from $100,000 would be the cost of a concrete foundation to $25,000. That's what I paid to build my foundation. So a quarter of the cost. So there's the detached garage, which I think is really important to consider. There's some houses here, some of the comparables have an attached garage. And usually in this area, when you're talking about $1 million house with an attached garage, that garage is finished. Sometimes it's 3 bays. So it's a huge amount of value in the attached versus detached garage. I'd also like to make a comment on the service to the property. Our property has electrical service only, we don't have gas. Comparables 1 through 4 all have gas service. Electrical is significant, the electric service is significantly cheaper. To install, it's also significantly cheaper to maintain. No, sorry, the gas is cheaper as a consumption perspective. So it tends to have a higher resale when you have a gas service versus electric. The other thing that was brought up was some of the unfinished components, landscaping, driveway. A lot of these comparables will have a hard surface driveway. We just have gravel. A lot of these will have fully landscaped. We haven't even touched landscaping. We're still trying to get the siding on. So these are some of the issues that I brought up, and I think they just should be reiterated in this meeting. I'm going to kind of relay back to them a little bit as I go through some of my other points here now as we move forward. Nancy noted this, that the area is difficult when you're considering historical property sales data. There is, north of Wilkes, you have properties that are like right there, but have just totally different zoning. They have totally different, they have sewer and water services. They're smaller lots, and they're not zoned rural residential, which is what this one is. So it can be difficult, I get that. I was looking at the full list of properties sold in our area, and you've got a range of $320,000 to $2 million. It's very, very difficult. Now, just for my own sort of information, I tallied everything sold in 2016 and 2017, and the average value was $680,000. That is maybe helpful, maybe not. But in looking at the comparables here, comparables 2, 3, and 4 I don't believe are adequate, mainly because of building type, because of overall size, finished basement. I don't even think that those are the most accurate comparables. And so because we have such a wide range of different houses, I really want to focus on 1, 2, 3, 4 Liberty and 1250 Liberty. As we were talking about 1, 2, 3, 4 Liberty subdivided, and we got an irregular shaped lot, an L shape. So I'm going to focus a little bit of this on just kind of comparing the two. 1, 2, 3, 4 Liberty just sold, and it's very useful. I think that there's a lot of comparables, and it becomes a very good tool for us to establish the value of our property as it relates to our direct neighbors. So I want to be obviously reasonable here. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to pay nothing, but I am trying to get this sorted out and so that it's correct. And I'm hoping that I don't have to come back every year and fight for $250,000, because that's a sort of a waste of everyone's time and resources. But whatever. So let's talk first about lot size. The two, 1, 2, 3, 4 Liberty and 1250 Liberty, have almost identical lot sizes, but 1234 does have a larger frontage. It's also the irregular shape of ours. It would be fair to say that that would sort of be a reduction of the value in 1250 land. So that's a consideration. 2, the total living area. So 1, 2, 3, 4 Liberty has 2364 square feet versus 1250 Liberty, which is sort of pending, but let's go with 2,885. And so for this reason, I think it would be totally fair to assume that our property, 1250 Liberty, would have an increased value versus the comparable one. Building type. I think that we've established now that both are 1 3/4 stories, and that they should be considered similar building type. Basement. So again, I'll touch on the fact that yes, they do have both full basements, but I will also mention that I know that 1, 2, 3, 4 Liberty has a full concrete basement, and that also as you talk about the year, original building on that property was 1930. There's a recent addition within, let's say, 15 years, would be fair to say. That's a pile foundation. That's over 50% of the size of that building. There is also a new garage. So again, it's just another tool to compare. But I think that based on that information, it would be fair to say that there would be a reduction in the cost of the market value of 1250 Liberty Street. So both properties do not have a finished basement. I mentioned the year built. I think that there's definitely a discrepancy between the two, but when you really consider the age of the entire building, I would even question the city's determination of the 1970 effective age, when over half the property is probably, or half the house is probably less than 15 years old. And it is totally renovated, so that's kind of what I'm trying to show you in the pictures. So it's kind of similar rooms, both have air conditioning, both have a fireplace. 1250 has one fireplace, 1234 Liberty has two fireplaces. Neither have a pool, both have detached garages, and they have similar zoning. So that's kind of a quick overview. I'm hoping that you guys have all seen the pictures. I'd be happy to run through the pictures and the finishes that we installed. I would be very confident to say that they are not considered a high-end finish for an $800,000 house. And I'm gonna add a little bit more context here to the discussion because when we were halfway through construction, the building was sealed and I had actually just received my approval to close up. The city released their transportation plan for the area. And I'm not making this up, I wish I was, but there was a Wilkes realignment, and I'm thinking most people would be familiar with this, but there are 2 of 3 options that the city has put forward that would literally see a new freeway through our living room. So I guess it's hypothetical. I believe it has impact on the market value. And that might be a subjective opinion, but it is totally factual that we had to change the way we built this house because of that information. So we revised the finishes, we totally changed the amount of money we were gonna put into this house. And so that's kind of a huge reason that, like, we're not, there's minimum stone kind of thing. The kitchen is just white MDF. If you look at houses that are, $1 million, they won't have these similar qualities. I think that's really important to consider. These are all just kind of quantitative things that the city will say, this is the area and this is that, but what I'm asking for is for a kind of a broad understanding of how many things are in play here. And some of these things are qualitative, right? And that's why we're here to discuss it. And we have to live with the fact that this property might one day become expropriated. And I've already come to peace with that, but it was super, super hard. We're in the middle of construction and that information just kind of got thrown out there. So we have to live with that. I think the city really needs to show some responsibility to the people in this area, and I'm one of them. Like this has an effect on the market value right now, and it will down the line. So that's another thing I'd like you to consider. And so with all that information, I have a summary of kind of what I think would be a fair evaluation. So the bank assessment is at $600,000. The average market value for the region, like I said, I took a sum and I averaged them all up with $680,000. I believe that comparable one is the most comparable property. That house sold for $535,000. I've averaged those things out, and I believe that the fair assessment value for our property is $605,000. And so that's what I'm here seeking.
Now we'll see if there's some questions. Nancy, we'll start with you.
Thank you. Just a few. So, you said the finishes installed are not high-end, correct?
They are not.
Okay. So, I'm just kind of looking at your pictures. Can you just help me clarify some of the finishes?
Absolutely.
Is it hardwood floors in the house?
Yeah, so the hardwood floor it's a Manitoba ash. It's a local product. They are all pre-finished. They are site finished. It's a site finished product. So a pre-finished hardwood, you will order. It comes, like I said, it's got its stain. It's got potentially 10 coats of urethane, let's say. So this is a product that I purchased. I purchased it for $3 a square foot. I installed it. I sanded it on site, and I stained it on my own. So is it hardwood? It is. It's significantly cheaper than pre-finished hardwood. It is.
It's cheaper because you did a lot of the work yourself?
No, it's cheaper because of the nature of the product. Because when you buy a pre-finished flooring, it comes with like 10 coats of urethane on it. It's highly protected.
And this doesn't?
No.
Right,
it's
but you
not.
still have to put a protector on it.
It's an impregnated oil. So when you go and scratch your
So
hardwood,
it's oil, you put oil on it?
it's an impregnating oil. Yeah, so the oil, The finish doesn't protect from a surface, like if you were to scratch your
Yeah.
hardwood, you would actually scratch the urethane finish off. So this is not protecting from any finishes. What it's protecting for is, or from is like this, just the change in humidity. So yeah, it's a much lower level finish.
So if it's an oil finish,
Yes.
do you have to maintain it throughout the years?
I have
you-
like I
like you
maintain it
put on?
regularly. I don't put new oil on, but there is a special cleaning product that I use, yeah. But so like if you were to buy a pre-finished hardwood,
Mhm.
it would be $10 a square foot. And that's supply only, that's not a materials cost.
Okay, so you said the kitchen is MDF cabinets?
Correct.
What kind of-
Countertops,
I
you
was
wanna
gonna
touch
say,
them? Yeah.
wanna look at countertops?
Yeah.
One at least looks like,
The island
it quartz
the
or-
island countertop is quartz, the main countertop is dyed cement, it's concrete, I poured it.
in the dining room,
Mhm.
the wall finish,
Mhm.
wouldn't you consider this an extra feature in a home if you were doing just a basic home and trying to cut costs?
Yeah, well, yeah, well, so
Like,
that finish, just so you know, that's all, the baseboard goes on either way.
Yeah, I know that, yeah, this is
The white panel is just painted drywall, and then I just put an MDF, so we're talking literally like maybe $150 of material go into that room. It has a nice impact, it has a good visual impact
yeah,
for sure.
very individual, yeah, exactly.
But it's not expensive, like you, it's just, you know, there's different ways to do something, so. And I wanna be transparent, yes, I think it's a very nice dining room, but it's not the high level that you would see in $1 million house.
The exterior is,
The
Hardy
exterior is hardy cement, yeah, cement board siding, yeah.
is that more expensive than vinyl siding or stucco?
Oh yeah, it's much more expensive, but again, I'll just relate this one back to the 1234 Liberty. So 1234 Liberty has got a significant amount more stone, and they have the same size. So I think that it's, when you compare those things, and if you use that as a comparison of materials and finish and even house style, it's a very, very good base.
You said the $1 million mortgage is a construction mortgage?
Yes, multi-purpose mortgage is called.
Multi-purpose.
Yeah, so once it gives us some flexibility, in, like, while we're building the project. I have no problem disclosing this information that
Thank you.
we did not use, so we have a $1 million mortgage, the bank will allow you to use a certain amount of that. Okay, but what it does is it kind of gives you some flexibility as you're going through the construction process. So, we have an installment line of, let's say, 6 installments. We only use 5 installments of our total mortgage. We had $370,000 available, we only used $320,000.
Hold up, builder's mortgage is the easiest way to call it.
It's a builder's mortgage,
Yeah, I
yeah.
understand,
It's not a
I
million,
had
it's-
one before.
It's not a
I
$1 million
built-
mortgage.
I built a home before, so, but then how does a bank determine $1 million?
So it's kind of like
Because don't
just
they
a
want to
floating
secure
number.
their?
It's just like, we're gonna give you $1 million mortgage, but it's a multi-purpose mortgage.
Yeah.
So they're not giving you $1 million, you
No,
have $1
they
million.
they only release the money when
It's-
certain things are completed.
Yes, but you're approved for a certain amount. If we wanted to go above $375,000, we would have to submit income, all the amount of loans that you have, you know. Like, so we have a value we're approved for, and we have this multi-purpose mortgage. They're not, it doesn't have any impact on this. In fact, it's totally closed out now. It doesn't even exist.
Well, according to land titles, it
Is
still
it?
exists, so
Yeah.
you may want to look into that.
Well, I mean,
Because
so,
that's,
okay,
that's
is,
against your property, right, so.
yeah, well, yeah, and it might be, but essentially that if I were to sell this property now, a lawyer would update that and they would go to the bank and the bank would update that. So is it a piece of public information now? Yes, it is. It's not accurate, but it is.
So let's go through the Waverly extension, right?
Yes.
Wilkes
Please do
extension?
that. It's Wilkes, yeah.
It hasn't happened,
Nope.
right?
it's
So
not.
we can't really determine the effect on the property.
You
If,
can say that it does have an impact though.
if it went into the city trying to expropriate your property, would you not try to get market value, the highest amount for your property?
Absolutely.
Because the city would have to pay
Yes,
you for that similar type of house in a different area,
absolutely
right?
they
Because
would.
we're affecting you and
Yes.
moving it. So
Yes.
you would want the highest amount,
Yes.
okay?
Yeah, and just like, I appreciate that you're saying that, and what I really think needs to be talked about here is the situation that I've been put in. Because this is a terrible situation, right? Like, I'm forced to like change the way I build this project because of this information. And now I'm forced to argue that it's because it's been incorrectly assessed. And so now I'm forced to argue that. And then now if the city wants to expropriate, yeah, the tables are gonna be turned, absolutely, which
So-
is the fair thing to say.
You said it would go through your living room. Would it extend further south?
Would you like to see?
Yes, please, thank you.
Of course, takes right through his property.
Yeah,
I'm just wondering
there's-
if it goes any further south than your
there's-
property.
Okay, so there's three options.
Oh, yeah.
Two options would see it through the property, the third option would see the property island, which I don't even know what the city would do if you're gonna island like a small section.
Yeah.
Either way, it's got.
Either way.
All three options have got really, really negative impact on the property value.
So the second option here, it looks like it would go through not, maybe
Well,
your neighbor or the one beside it?
Yeah, you're probably
Looks like-
looking at a 50-foot like buffer on both sides. They're not gonna keep three houses in between.
No, absolutely.
No,
Yeah,
so
I
one
get
option,
that.
yes.
I'm just looking further south because, there are homes being built on the street further down
Yeah, there actually are, you're right,
and,
yeah. There's also a land for sale that's been for sale for the last, like, 2 years. Only 3 houses, or two lots south of me. There's a land there that's been for sale for 2 years.
on the same side as you?
Yeah. And it's not gonna sell him. I would be surprised if someone built there. If I had this information, I wouldn't have built there. No, never.
Okay, no further questions, thank you.
Gisela?
Yes, I'm wondering about a couple of things. One is, if you were to be expropriated, would 1234 not be expropriated also?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of reflective in the value of 1234.
Which is for sale, you said?
No, it just,
Sold.
Oh, it just sold.
It's comparable one on my sheet as
Oh,
well.
okay. The other thing I'm wondering about, looking at the pictures from 1234, it looks like they have gas.
yeah, they have gas, yeah. Yeah, we don't have gas, we didn't bring gas.
No,
But it is on the street.
it
It's
is on-
available, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay,
available.
It was his choice.
Okay.
Yeah, it was our choice.
Okay.
But again, I think like you go in and say, well, there's no gas here, like it's electric furnace. So there's a value that's reduced by that.
But it was your choice to go
Oh,
electric.
absolutely is my
Okay.
choice, yeah.
Good, that's my questions,
Yeah.
thank you.
Richard?
Maybe a statement more than a question, but I'm glad you seem to recognize the irony of your debating here today to get a low value, and
Yes.
if expropriation happens, you'll be back here
Well, he
wanting
won't
a
be
higher
back here.
value.
He won't be
No,
back here. At the other
yeah, I know,
department.
I know, but he'll be at another department.
Mhm.
So there
I
is some
suppose so.
irony in this, yes.
Yeah.
Worth $1 million then.
To be honest, I hope that never happens.
Yeah.
Like, this has everything that even, we talk about the preserved wood foundation, like, I built this because we are intending to stay there. I don't have any intention of selling this property. I'll never sell it unless I can't afford the property tax. I won't sell it, and so, it'll be expropriated. That's how it comes, that's how it gets taken away from me.
What can't be missed here is the labor of love. It
It's
goes into
serious
doing
labor of
something
love.
that you've done here, and
Yeah, like, there's so
the
much.
deemed value of
Yeah,
that.
when we were here, my wife and I last time, like, she was actually in tears because of how, like, hard the situation has been. Like, we're talking about so much time and money and resources. And like, we have to live with knowing that, who knows, it's out of our control.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of why I'm fairly passionate about this subject, and thanks for understanding that.
Yeah, it doesn't
Sorry if
go
I've come
unnoticed.
across. Yeah.
That's it for me.
That's it for you. Gisela's done.
I'm done, thank you.
And I'll leave it alone.
Okay.
I think you did a great job presenting, so we'll
Yes.
hear from you.
Thanks for your
Thank you
time.
very much, and you'll be hearing from us.
Hey, thanks Nancy as well.
Is your parking okay out there?
Yeah.
You're good?
Another 2 hours.
Oh, good, because we're just gonna shut for a
In
couple
Craig?
minutes.
Great.
We were
We'll
gonna
be
take
in
a
touch
break
with
for a
the square
minute.
footage, okay?
Absolutely,
I'd like to get that resolved as well.
Yeah, I think it's fair, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be in touch.
Thank you for giving me that break.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know it's pretty intense, eh?
So I'll have to swear or affirm you. Stand, please. Will you both be speaking? Yes. What did you, will you swear or affirm?
No.
On the Bible? Okay. Please state your name. Jing Jing Fox. And do you affirm the evidence you'll present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Please state your name. Do you affirm the evidence you'll present today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Do you have anything to distribute to the panelists? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nancy, when you're ready.
Okay, thank you. Roll number 03091496 19 Allyson Faith. It's in the Bridgewater Forest. It's a two-story, built in 2011. It's 2,332 square feet. Currently, we have no basement finish on the property, however, there is an open permit to finish the basement. The property has 2 full baths and a half bath, air conditioning, a fireplace, and attached multiple garage. Lot size is 7,508 square feet. It was purchased in June of 2015 for $467,000. The 2020 assessment is $543,000 or $232.85 a square feet. All 4 comparables are in Bridgewater Forest with 2 on the same street as the subject property. They're all 2 stories, built between 2010 and 2011. Square footage is between 2,024 square feet to 2,273 square feet. None of them have basement finish. They all have 2.5 bathrooms. All have, comparable 4 does not have air conditioning, while the remaining do. 2 of them have fireplaces. All of them have the attached multiple garage. Lot size ranges from 4,557 square feet to 6,125 square feet. Comparable 3, which is on the same street, actually is on the corner of the street with the medium traffic and the bus route influence. The time adjusted sale price ranged from $506,500 to $566,500 for $222.83 a square foot to $279.99 a square foot. After reviewing my comparables, in my opinion, these comparables support the $543,000 assessed value as the market value for this property as of April 1st, 2018. Thank you.
Do you have any questions of the assessor? No?
Yes, okay. I got some material that the insurance company,
Any questions from me?
No, you have-
You
no?
present that in a
Okay.
bit.
Okay, we'll get that in a minute here. Richard, do you have any questions? No? Giselle, any questions? No?
No.
Okay, let's move on to your presentation.
okay. 'Cause, I found some materials, but the insurance company asked me to rebuild my house at like 520,000. And then I got the 3 houses like nearby in our area, and our neighbors is like the 7 Almington Bay. Their assessment price will be 516,000, and we all have the similar situation, like living area, all the same conditions, and the second one is the certified power plant, which is the bay behind our bay, and their assessment is under 500,000. Also, the 23 Almington is our neighbor, and they just sold in June, and the sale price will be 525,000, which is the same with assessed value. All the 3 houses are the similar. Also, for the compare houses that you provided, although the 51 Almington Bay, their sale price is 506,000, but online I can check the assessed price is 485,000. So it's much difference between the sale price and the assessment value. And for the 11 Almington Bay, their sales price is 499. The assessed price is 489,000. So it's always under the sale price, and our house in the bay will be the highest value, assessed value in the bay. And all the houses, they have the similar conditions.
Questions, Nancy?
Yes, so you're comparing assessments?
Yes.
We can only, I can only consider sales that have sold up to April 1st, 2018, because the assessments may or may not be correct. Because you said like 51 Almonton, you said the assessment's 485, but yet it's sold for 560. So that's certainly something I'm gonna have to review, like, yeah. It seems quite low compared to what they paid for.
Because we see the other one so much different, so, and see our numbers so way high, so.
Our increase like 40,000
41,000
last
last year.
time. So.
Yeah. Okay, you have an open permit for the basement finish. Is the basement completed?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet. Also, sorry, I failed to mention, you have a wood deck at the back of the yard as well?
Yeah.
Wood deck.
But the deck is already like,
Oh, yeah, already
since
there.
last purchase.
Yeah. And it's a quite large deck, correct? It's
I think yes.
about 370 square feet deck?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
double
about
size.
roughly, okay.
The fence can cost the assessment value?
No, I don't
No.
consider the fence, no. So if you finish the fence with your neighbors, it's okay.
Yeah.
I consider the deck though. Which we already have on record, so there you go,
Yeah.
it's not a problem.
Eye in the sky.
Hmm?
Eye in the sky, a deck.
I have no further questions.
Richard,
No, I'm good.
I'm good, thank
you're
you.
good? And I'm good. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Because our neighbor just sold in June, so.
Yeah, that is post-reference, like June of this year.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I say just
Last
moved
month.
in, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is post-reference, so I'm not able to consider that for this assessment, because it only goes up to April 1st, 2018. It will be in the next cycle for the 2022 assessment,
Okay.
but by then, you probably finish your basement.
Yes, because
Maybe next year,
the
I think.
houses in the bay looks almost the same situation,
Like
material
two
and condition,
levels
yeah.
condition.
And our house is
Yeah.
the highest in our bay. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
because
why.
that 51 sold at a really high price and have a low assessment value, so confused how this
Sorry,
happened.
yeah, because I know 51 Almonton's quite smaller, it's over 300 square feet smaller than yours, so yeah, when a home is a little smaller, the assessment will
So how
be,
You mean
about
you
11?
mean the,
the square footage of the property. If you look at this living area,
living
right?
area is 2024?
Yeah, 2024, and you're at 2332, so there will be a difference in the assessment, because we have to consider the size of the home, right? And same with 11 Almonton, and the lot size as well, we have a larger lot size than versus the other two, but,
You mean the lot size,
yeah.
like total size of backyard also?
Those are they are taken in consideration when we do the assessment, right? The size of the home, the lot size, and other features as well.
Okay.
So, I
That's
think
it.
that's everything, unless you have any more questions that you want me to clarify for you. More than willing, you have the assessor in front of you.
Thank you very much. You'll be hearing from us.
Yeah, you should be the first one.